All right, episode 207. Today, we're going to find out what's in your real estate pocket.
Ooh.
Featuring Beth Silverman. We're going to get started right now. Realtor.
Yeah. That's completely
Realtor. It's
it.
Realtor.
That's why there's a lawsuit.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah. Realtor. That's how it goes down.
You don't say Docator.
Maybe I do. How do you know? You've never heard me say it. All right. Episode 207. I don't really like this title, but it's What's in Your Pocket with Beth Silverman. It's not my favorite title. So we'll see how many people tune in on this one. But today's show, though, is brought to you by my favorite sponsors, because I'll definitely go visit them. Mortgage Mike. He's just slinging money left and right, giving that Mortgage Mike stamp of approval all day. I talked to him yesterday. He got a guy done real fast.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Lots of money. Just go to mmgloans.com.
You know what I haven't seen yet? Jesus, you're already off the rails. I haven't, we have the Mortgage Mike stamp of approval, which I think is cool. I have not seen a mortgage lender incorporate like the, is it Supreme Money Gun? I haven't seen a lender do that as a bit. I would think it's pretty tacky if they did.
It should be Supreme Lending then.
That is like, isn't it pretty obvious?
Yeah. Do you remember
Supreme Lending? That would be great alignment. I'm just saying I haven't seen any lenders do it, and I thought like that'd be a pretty obvious bit.
Do you remember back in the day the Westway Ford commercial, and it had the guy in the money suit and the big overdone sunglasses? That's what I wanted Mortgage Mike to be. I wanted him to go make all these little 60-second commercials for Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and he's just showing up like the Westway Ford guy.
So this is a different sort of variation of something super cool, but the coolest thing I ever did on a listing appointment, I was just thinking about this because of the Supreme Money Gun. Remember when you had the Boring Company flamethrowers?
No.
I have no idea.
What?
No.
Elon Musk, the flamethrowers. This was big, like 6. Yes.
Yeah. Did he call it the Boring Company?
No, they were produced by the Boring Company.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
I have my own flamethrower at the lake house.
Yeah, you do.
This is my story.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
I went to a listing appointment in what's in Frisco, really nice
Star Lake,
Newman Village.
Mm-hmm.
And he got his flamethrower. They delivered it during the listing appointment, and we shot it in the backyard.
Did you
get the listing?
Yeah, later.
No, he did.
Not that day.
Does
Not that
Darren
day.
You could tell right then and there he lied.
I did not. It was like a year later.
Thrower?
I don't know. We'll find out. Theron Smith, Armadillo Home Warranty, the hard shell protection. He will definitely protect your house if there's a flamethrower accident.
I don't think that's
I
covered.
don't think that's on the show.
Wait, it's not?
Let's
No.
not make promises we
What?
can't deliver on. I don't think that's covered.
Oh, armadillo.1.
Try it.
/Tor, Tore.
Just
like
him.
Realtor, Tore, the only real estate podcast worth listening to. And then, Dana Wynn should have some like a
flamethrower.
flamethrower, or she needs to have some type of tool
Yeah.
in her hand.
What
In her
sort of
pocket.
tool?
Yeah, real estate pocket.
What sort of tool is property management? Like a
Wrench.
Phone.
A wrench is good.
Yeah.
A phone for sure. She's been on the phone with a bank all day,
All day.
solving problems, saving
Swiss
the world.
Army
Mhm.
tool.
A handgun.
All the tools.
Handgun.
Multi-usage.
Handgun too.
Handgun.
Maybe
So
a
she
shotgun.
collects all the
Solid.
past due rents.
100%. That's Jana's job, and she does carry.
Ooh.
So if
You're
you're,
not
a tenant,
supposed to say that.
not
We're
No.
in Texas.
Yeah.
we're in East Lansing,
Yeah.
Michigan.
Homeward.
This is an open carry state.
HomewardDFW.com.
HomewardDFW.com. Then when you're done with that, come on over to this side of the table and check out Tour Studios. We've got an amazing setup here. We just retrofitted and feng shuied everything. Check out TORETourstudios.com for all your multimedia needs. And then
I think we just make a whole show about all the sponsors we have.
all the sponsors, like a
Like a what?
like a movie trailer. They used to have this not on Hulu. Was it Hulu? You could just watch movie trailers. There's like a channel
Really?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I like that.
They should call it sizzle. Like all the sizzle reels.
Oh,
My attention span is only about as long as a movie trailer, so it's a great way for me to digest.
yeah. I think we're gonna need to figure out how to handle the sponsors on the show, because the first 30 minutes of the show is all sponsors.
30
It's
minutes?
6 minutes.
Yeah.
All right, well, this
It's
will be the last
actually
one.
3 minutes and 48 seconds.
Yeah,
long
we
time
got it great.
listener.
Because that's how fast,
That's how fast I fast
she
forward.
fast forwards. See?
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. But you do want to listen to this one, because this is not really a sponsor. This is about building your wealth and growing your money and having tax-free strategies.
Mhm.
Right.
And we are excited to bring Deep Blue Capital as a part of the intro. Now, if you're looking to grow your wealth, your passive income, if you're looking to build that legacy that you got into the real estate business for, check out deepbluere.com. And I'll go one further. We're doing a new webinar just for
Nude.
a new webinar
Goodness.
just for real estate professionals on December 7th. We're going to talk about our latest acquisitions. We're going to talk about you as a real estate professional, how you can grow your passive income and build legacy wealth. So check out Deep Blue RE forward slash real wealth. That's deepbluere.com/real wealth, and sign up for the webinar we're doing December 7th and learn how you can build that legacy
Real wealth.
I
So,
want a front row seat.
yeah.
For that,
So
for
sign
sure
up.
Real.
deepbluere.com/real wealth.
Boom.
Are we going
But-
to talk about the note school during that at all?
I mean, not on that one.
That's a different show.
Yeah. That's
You guys have
another
so many
sponsorship.
shows.
That's
You're
another
such-
you're
sponsorship.
such
We
big
can't.
deals.
Noteschool.com
No, we can't keep doing it. No.
/tour. TORE.
That's right.
Yeah.
Throw
we
it up.
can't keep doing
You
that.
guys are such big deals. It's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah. Here's what I will say.
And that's the end of the show.
Yeah. I will say, like, launching the Deep Blue strategy today, 8,000 times, and I've never been asked to sponsor. Justin, you used to be a major sponsor, but today's your birthday.
Oh,
With
Happy
Sphere Rocket
birthday
Virtual
to
Assistants,
you.
and you can definitely come back and sponsor this show. We'll even honor that same price.
$2 million.
Exactly. That we gave you before.
Happy birthday, Justin.
Yes, we love you, Justin. He's 28.
Two,
No, I think he's like 25,
Is he?
26.
He said he's almost the 30.
16.
That's what people that aren't even close to 30 say, because
Yeah.
they don't know how embittering it is.
Yeah, I hear you. But when we launched the Deep Blue webinar, right? How great is it that it's real wealth, and then we've got Build Wealth with Beth here,
Oh, yeah.
and you just launched that brand, right? So we have Beth Silverman on the show. This is the third time
I know, wild.
on, and if you heard her in the past, first off, you deleted your TikTok, which I'm not happy with, because you had a reel that really went crazy on it,
Yes.
and you were on the show that really took off because you were talking about Padsplit, right? And I think that first show that you were on, we really went deep on that niche style investing. And now what you're doing and evolving and growing with it is that you haven't left that niche. Now you're expanding with it to be able to teach other real estate agents how can they master the Padsplit craft. And I think right now, with all this lawsuit shit going on, this is a major thing that I think I believe you have to have this, because right now the real estate industry is under attack by all these fucking lawsuits.
All of them.
And so what better way to pour into yourself and your business is to get really dialed in and niched down so that you can make sure that you're going to protect your business here in the future. Like, you're helping investors grow their wealth. You're
Yeah.
helping investors grow their cash flow. I don't believe that you're going to have a problem commanding a fee,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
So you're not maybe as concerned as some of these others about what's going on with the lawsuit.
No, but also I think realtors are so concerned. And I took a poll of my clients and I said, what have you guys heard? What do you know about this? And the majority didn't care. And then I explained it and they fully understood rational thinking, like just what we know to be true. But also, when we get too distracted by talking about these things and being in all the groups on Facebook and getting into keyboard warriors, what are we not doing? Making money. Like we're taking our eye off the prize and the goal. This market has been very challenging no matter what role you're in, a solo agent, a team lead, no matter if you have a mega, this is a very challenging time. Everyone has had to dig deep. I know it's easy for us to say like the marginal agents, thin the herd and 70,000 agents have dropped out of the industry. But why I've developed Build Wealth with Beth is because I think I just realized what I was doing the whole time. I was pivoting my clients to stay ahead of where I believed the market to be going. And in doing that, we went from foreclosures to Section 8 to multifamily to STR to Padsplit. And I'll be back in foreclosures in about 5 years. So I believe that you can stay on top and not worry about a lawsuit, a fee, or any of these things if you just stay ahead.
So if it's again, I hate this damn title. I really hate it. It's still bothering me right now. I'm looking at it. I really
Can we
hate
just
it.
tell them why it happened though? Because that's good. So so excited because as you guys know, I watch the show as much as you guys do. Nick and Brian, besties. Brian pulled something out of his pocket at lunch and Nick had never seen this. I didn't know it was there. And we only got one small sneak peek.
This is a first for me.
Me too.
How
Me
often
too.
do you look inside people's pockets?
How often do you have what you have in
All
your
the
pocket?
time.
Yeah.
Which I love. This is viewers. This is a treat. So if
Yeah.
you've hung through the first 10 minutes of waste, it's about to get really good.
We were talking, what conversation were we having?
Tony Robbins.
That's what
Yeah.
we were talking about
Yeah,
the
yeah.
event last.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We were talking about
Because
My-
lady went to
my
Tony
wife
Robbins.
went to it,
David
and so did David.
Bennick
Yeah,
went to Tony Robbins. Yep.
Benting went to it.
Ben
And
Dick.
David Benting. And
Yeah.
Tony Robbins is the reason that I stress the importance of pattern utilization.
Yes.
Because he talks about that cycle repeating itself from the 1900s all the way through today. And
It's true.
he's really what got me thinking about that. And also the mindset of staying a winner,
Mhm.
regardless of challenge. And you just surprised everyone at the table.
Well, we were just talking about it, and I like to carry my notes in my pocket, and I
Look, I'm
add
not
to
hating
them.
on it. I was
Sometimes
just-
I add to them.
It sounds
Sometimes
like
I
you're
take them.
hating on it.
I carry the ones that are relevant to me at the time because I like to have them so that I can read them when I need them.
Will you share them?
There's like hundreds, but I only carry the ones that I need or that I think I need.
Can I pick
Be
one?
like,
You can pick one. Would
It'll
you
be
like to
like,
pick one?
I will grow to be 6'1".
These ones right here, by the way, when Lady came back, she shared her notes with me that she had texted me. So these are all ones that I wrote down just like in the last few days. But I have a habit of carrying these around with me all the time. They're not always these ones, but they're like ones from books, like a lot of so I always have something in my pocket.
It
It's just
changes
that
and evolves.
these
How
are
often do you look at it?
well, I pulled it out immediately at lunch today. So I mean, probably a couple times a day.
Okay.
Can we hear them?
I gave one to Dana earlier when she was having a fit.
Can I have one?
You can pick one.
I would like your radio voice.
Oh, you want me to do it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's your story.
Do you want to be the victim of your story or the victor?
Wait, that's the one you picked earlier.
You have a
Is-
25%.
No, I think they're all the same.
Okay. Do you want to pick another?
Yes,
you
because I
had
actually
a 25% chance of picking that one. There's only 4 today.
All right, let's read that one. Do you want to be the
You can read that
victor
one.
or let's see. It says
you wanna-
if you create interest and wait, if you create internal certainty, there's absolutely nothing you can't do.
Yeah.
Well, I agree
like that.
because Tony Robbins says, especially like a high D personality like myself, I'm guided by certainty and significance. And some people are guided by love and connection, but once you figure out what you're guided by, you can take those types of actions to feel
Some people are
successful.
guided by love and certainty. And I think even I would say worse off. Some people are actually guided by success rather than significance. And
Why'd
there's
you
a
look at me
ma-
like
and
that?
There's a massive. You're right across me.
You
I mean,
went real
everything I
hard on
say
that.
today is going to be.
That was real straight
I
on.
didn't
Dang.
mean that. Got 2 more.
He's usually looking at me, so
That's true. It's hard to read the handwriting.
Is this a curse word?
Yeah, one of them's probably got a curse word.
I will find a way or I will make the effing way.
Have you ever watched this show?
I will find the way or I will make the fucking way.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I'll
it's
do
going
last
on the
one.
reel.
No, I like that one for real.
Definitely not.
That needs to go on the Tour Studio shirts, the merch.
Oh,
Success is not a one-time thing.
Success is not convenient.
For all of you
Yeah.
successful professionals out there who are having a down year,
it's true.
success is not a one-time thing.
Speaking of a down year, we spent like a year and a half getting prepared and talking about the shift, right? And then now here we are rounding out 2023. So now we have the numbers to reflect on. And, I've identified where I've fallen short, what were the reasons, why did the deals not fall through, and where do I now see this going for 2024? What's going on in your guys' world?
A lot, man. Look, we've actually have had a great year, and I don't really like to talk about it because everyone else is having, it's no one likes it when you're like throwing that. Look, how's the business going? Great. Oh, I'm sorry, you're down 30, 40, 50%, but we are up.
Yeah.
Right. So we don't really talk about it. We celebrate internally, but we've done more business than we did last year. In fact, this will be it will be our best year we've ever had.
Can I ask a follow-up to that?
Sure.
Do you believe that, I saw a change like this year, you really dug deep and have had a lot of fun going back into production? Not in a big way, but do you think that played a role and helped motivate the team?
Maybe. I think what it gives is, and I haven't gone way back in production. I will probably do like 10 or 12 deals. I wouldn't call that way back in.
It's still
I mean,
more
it's
than
more
most
than
agents.
most
agents.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Sure.
Mhm.
Sure. Yeah. But I would say that, being able to go back and have conversations with our team members, that is instead of it just being, you're making it up and being like, back in my day, this is what used to work.
Uphill in the snow.
Yeah.
both
Where
ways.
right now I'm like, guys, I'm running listing appointments. I'm showing a buyer on Saturday.
Nice.
I love
Right.
that.
Yeah. Like I'm taking a buyer out on Saturday. I'm showing 5 houses. So it's I do
If I don't see it on
believe
Instagram, it doesn't matter.
exactly. I'll post it. I do believe that from that conversation, I'm in the trenches with them.
Mhm.
And look, right now, again, we don't change our rhetoric. Money changes hands when problems are solved. There is problems that we can easily solve, and we've gotten out of the interest rate talk. Right? I told the team a couple of weeks ago. I said I don't want to hear why buyers aren't buying. They're not buying not because of interest rates. They're not buying because you're not really finding the reason why they would want to buy in the first place.
Sure.
Correct.
So if we removed and eliminated the interest rates obstacle, let's get to the real truth of it. And let's figure out what that is. And so we're teaching them how to dig deeper. And I truly believe that 24 is going to be an even better year, and as long as they stay focused and not get burnt out, which right now is really easy to do.
Deal fatigue is very real among everyone. And I think that's why it's so important to keep notes in your pocket, right? Or to talk to people and reach out. But I think mindset and shifting forward into that momentum, I think when we take a step back, we lose momentum, and that's where it gets dangerous, because we have to do mundane tasks every single day with the same amount of energy, effort, and vision to drive us forward.
But none of that changes. It doesn't
Never.
change whether you're in a accelerated COVID market, or you're in a normal market, or you're in a recessionary market. That the boring is what drives your business. And I think Gary Keller says it, right, Brian? Like you fall in love with the boring.
Yeah.
Right?
Success is boring.
Yes.
Over and over and over again. Gary Keller's talked about that forever. A lot of our mentors have. Like, that's actually one of the things that holds people back from being successful, is they don't realize how repetitive it can be. You're a master of that, by the way. Like, and I don't mean that to be insulting at all. Like, I've known you to be a relentlessly consistent human being.
I really cut
Just
deep.
boring.
No, I'm
I
just
thought
like,
it was beautiful.
I seriously, I can't even watch the full movie. I got to watch the Hulu movie trailers movies because I have that's my attention span. You're relentlessly consistent. And I think one of the things that we fall prey to sometimes in this business is, as the market is heading north and we have to work less and less hard each year to do more deals. As soon as that volatility comes in and the market shifts and we got to go back to working hard, a little harder per deal, our brains are like, I should never have to do this again.
Yeah.
Right. And that is seriously, I mean, everybody who was crushing it 2 years ago, who is struggling a little bit right now, the way you get a deal done hasn't changed. It's just kind of what you need to do activity wise to get to the deal. So you can do this. You can do as many deals as you did before. Your activities need to look a little different. And that's what we fall victim to, is we have trouble going back in our heads.
But you didn't have to train. You didn't have to train the skill set. Right. And
true. Repetition does that though.
Yeah. With, the media and the market helped propel that. Everyone was buying. Great time. Money was cheap. Appreciation's going through the roof. You couldn't stop it.
Yeah.
And so you didn't have to learn how to overcome. The question is, can you comfortably overpay for this house? Or I even hate to use the word overpay. How much money do you have to stay competitive in this market? Is probably the better use of words on that one.
Well, why don't we unpack that for a second though? I don't think we've ever talked about this on the show.
Sure.
In a vacuum, if you didn't experience it in real life, because I think so much of this is our mentality around the market, what would you rather have? Would you rather have a market where you have to go to buyers and say, hey, I actually have no idea what you need to do to get this house. You might have to pay $200,000 extra out of your pocket just to even be on the radar? Or would you rather go and say, hey, you know what rates are. Here's your budget. You could probably negotiate a little bit of a buy down, right? Like, I get it that buyer sentiment is also a part of that, how buyers are feeling about the market. But if those were the two options, which one would you rather have? Because
I'm taking the second option.
Yeah, because one of those, though, was the one that we called the best market ever.
I'm taking neither option,
which is bananas.
This is the difference of my world. Like, I can't believe those are the options. And in my mind, I'm sitting here like, it's always a buyer's market where I live in my niche. It's always a seller's market where I live in my niche. Like, if you present the opportunity that people can say yes to, you will increase your business.
Sure.
Period.
Sure.
And it's about creating opportunity. So what do we know to be true? If you sold a house from 2015 to 2021, if you were a buyer agent, what do we know? How much equity is the average American sitting on?
A lot.
It's $149,000 to $249,000
on average. Yeah, probably.
Yep. And if we took out a HELOC, what's that? 75% LTV. So is that going to give us enough money to put 25% on a DSCR? And I say 25% because we know how those numbers work.
Sure.
So is that equity enough to pull and buy another property and grow wealth? And so,
but people don't, like, a lot of the average, they don't want to grow wealth.
But
right?
Only because they don't know how, and they don't know what it can do for their life.
Sure. I think that who
doesn't want to grow wealthy?
I think there's a lot of people. I think if you really look at it, it's the same reason of when you start talking to people. Yeah. Children.
We're just trying to play devil's advocate.
Maybe so.
Yeah,
but if you really look at it, then why would someone, especially if they bought their first home and they're looking to move up, you're like, hey, why don't you get this in a rental? We can find a way to get you in another. They're like, no, they have no interest in building, a real estate portfolio.
But when you say move up, what do we know the challenge with the move up buyer is right now? You're not moving up to much because of interest rates, taxes, and insurance, depending on your market. So, and they're clinging to their interest rates. So if they're not moving up, my process is, but let me create an opportunity you can say yes to.
I like it. Yeah.
Right. And so I'm not saying,
this is almost 20 years worth of hearing the move up. Whether we are in a 3% appreciation market, rates were kind of steady the whole time. It was I think it's not wanting to deal with tenants, taxes, and toilets. They've heard maybe horror stories about owning a rental property. They've heard horror stories. They don't trust the management companies. Maybe there's a lot of people that are afraid of just growing wealth in general. Like, if you really look at it, people are they're fearful of success. There's a reason why a lot of salespeople and even the real estate side reject themselves before even give themselves an opportunity to win.
On a practical level, it's always scary to get out of cash. Meaning,
yes.
This is what Brett Tanner says a lot, right? Like, people love to visit their money. Even though your money is doing nothing for you sitting in the bank, people don't like to get out of cash, especially if you've never done it before.
Because it's scary every time. I don't think it changes. I think every time you see all that money come out, or if you do a HELOC or a refi and you see that larger interest rate, it doesn't get less scary, right? We're in the business of mitigating risk, but we think of what is the reward. And but everything you said is really true.
Yeah.
You want to look at your bank account and see the money, but that money in the bank account definitely wasn't going to pay my debt when I got cancer. Whereas having an asset and equity to leverage, that would have helped in a tremendous
and you'll
way.
find every excuse too. It's the same thing that realtors are focusing on right now, right? Where they're thinking about lawsuits and when they should be just focusing on building their business. I guarantee you I could bring a 30% ARV deal to 99% of the US population right now, and they just wouldn't do it because it's scary to get out of cash. And they're going to go, the market's, down, all this type of stuff. This is actually when money is made, is when people want to be on the sidelines. But I do understand that mindset. It's scary to write the check.
But when people are afraid, it's because they need more information. When people don't act. So one of the biggest things that Coach Bird always taught was rejection. And he always said, people aren't rejecting you. They just don't know how you can help them. And they need more information and more value. Correct.
I need a pen.
Yep.
Well, good thing this is recorded.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
But everything you're saying is so true. And so again, what I keep saying in my own mind, in my own business is, if they're scared, it's only because they're lacking information and assurance. And so I do believe that is part of my success.
You know what they say? Scared money
Don't make money.
No.
I never even heard that.
Really?
You haven't?
No.
Oh, so you need to write that one down and
Yeah.
keep it in your pocket.
Scared money? Don't make
my
money.
money's not scared. My money's courageous.
Your money stays hard. You're from New York.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Should have heard her say some curse words earlier. Got real scary for a second.
My mom's watching.
Is she?
Well, she'll watch the replay when I send it to her.
But I do agree. Like, a lot of times it is scared money, right? And it's we fall in love with the idea of maybe building all this, but to take action's a lot.
Yeah.
And it's not, you can educate them all you want. It's the taking action part of parting away with 20% down payment, 25% of my hard-earned money. And you don't see that back for a bit, right? Like you bought a Padsplit that earns you what? How much money do you make off Padsplit every year?
The net.
Yeah. Sure.
Net,
I don't.
That one house nets me around 19,000.
19,000 a year.
Mhm.
That's great.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
But
how many of those do you believe that you could help a client get?
well, I've helped. We now have 154 units on the platform, and everyone is making those kinds of returns. But so you guys are huge in investments. I learn so much from you guys every day. And so I think you think so much bigger, whereas the average American, if they're sitting on that equity and we could just help them get into one property, because I'm not saying become this huge investor with a big portfolio. One property has the ability to accelerate your retirement, to cushion you in a hardship of divorce, death, birth, disease, or job loss. So one property, if we all had one besides our main home, which is a long-term play, and then we could tap into that equity, people could be less afraid.
If you ask any big-time investor out there, so we run a different podcast, More Doors Podcast. Check it out. We talk to multifamily syndicators.
More Doors Podcast.
We're doing 2 episodes tomorrow.
Gosh.
And so we have a great network through that. I would say almost across the board unanimously, if you asked every big time multifamily syndicator that has thousands of deals under management what their most important deal was, or their biggest deal, they would always say they're first for the same reason. So even if you're not trying to go huge, the reality is getting past all of those limiting beliefs and that emotional fear of this is going to go sideways and ruin my life. You only need to rip the Band-Aid off once. Every time after that, it's still an intellectual challenge. You got to underwrite the deal, make sure you're doing the right thing. But the fear of this is going to be the thing that is my demise, it goes from 100% down to like 15 or 20. It doesn't go away forever. You're still scared doing deals.
But you have to keep you got to keep the momentum going.
You do.
Right?
Yeah.
So you brought something up that Kelderman had brought up on like 3 or 4 shows previously, where once you fall out of routine or rhythm or momentum, right? And Kelderman was saying this in his story about, he used to call expireds. And he's like, oh, I started calling again. I'm like, he was rusty. He was nervous. He talked himself out of it. And I can relate to that, where last year after my brother died in October 21, we bought single families that I wouldn't even care. I looked at them like, yeah, let's just buy it. Right. Up until that time. Then I was like, all right, I got to get into, get back into investing. I bought my first deal post Austin era, and I overanalyzed this deal to death.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing we talked about, which is you have to rip the Band-Aid off the first. And I bought this one for $150,000. I definitely paid $10,000 more than I wanted to or should have, but I'm in it for $200. It's worth $275, $280.
Yeah.
It rents for $2,300 a month.
It's fantastic.
And right now I have all cash in it, but if I do a DSCR loan, if I
Yeah.
just do a cash out right now, it cash flows about $700 to $800 a month
Fantastic.
with about 50 to 60,000 in equity.
So you did good.
You did.
Yeah.
Great.
So everyone else, for right now, like you said, we should go and be doing this and talking about this.
So who's
Yes.
listening?
The
Realtors.
thing is that, and that's what I was about to say. Realtors already know how to do it because we do it for other people. You want to do a boxing story? I haven't done one in a while.
Sure.
I relate everything to boxing. So there's this old story of Freddie Roach.
Just Rocky.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, Freddie Roach is Manny Pacquiao's trainer.
Mm.
Legendary trainer. He trained a bunch of people, not just Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao's big win that put him on the map was Oscar De La Hoya. He beat Oscar De La Hoya early 2000s. I can't remember. But that was really what lifted Manny Pacquiao to superstardom. And asked about it later on, like, Manny Pacquiao beat the brakes off of him, dude. Like, he was an underdog, and like that's what rocketed him, because it wasn't even like Oscar De La Hoya was a superstar. And this little Filipino kid came in and just beat his ass. And so Freddie was asked about it a long time later. And he was like, when did you know that Manny was in control of the fight? He was like, after round 3 or whatever it was. He was like, I could see in Oscar's eyes that he couldn't pull the trigger anymore. And if you like understand that in boxing, the scariest thing in boxing is throwing punches at a guy that you know is faster and stronger than you, because you just know that everything coming back is going to hurt you way more than what you're giving out, right? And so it makes, like, when you ever watch really boring, like Floyd Mayweather is a great example. Floyd Mayweather was such a defensive genius and so fast that people didn't want to throw punches against him, so it made really boring fights. Like a lot of guys just looking at each other for 12 rounds. But that's because that check left hook or that straight right hand was coming in so fast that you couldn't pull the trigger. But Oscar De La Hoya was a better fighter. He was more experienced. He had way more fights under his belt. He was in his prime. If Oscar De La Hoya pulled the trigger, he would have beat Manny Pacquiao no problem. Manny Pacquiao had so much confidence, and he had nothing to lose. He had no career at that point. He wasn't a name. Nobody cared about him, but he was pulling the trigger all night. Oscar De La Hoya had everything on the line, and he just couldn't pull the trigger anymore. And we do this. We're bringing it back now, right? Like, we should have all the confidence in the world. If you practice real estate at any significant level, which everybody who watches this show does, you have all the knowledge, information, willpower. Like, you have everything. You're so much of a leg up. You have so much of a leg up on every other investor out there. It's just that mental hurdle of pulling the trigger one time, and I promise you, it gets so much easier after that first one.
Sean Rogers has that point here. Usually fear makes people go backwards when faith should move them forward.
Well, confidence is the memory of success, right? And so,
Yeah.
yes,
It's another shirt one.
confidence is the memory of success. And so we bring this back to realtors, right? So for me, nope.
Yeah.
No, sir.
Nope. Just like Tor.
That's why we're being
T-O-R-E.
sued.
I don't think we're being sued because we can't pronounce it.
Well, that's part of it. The customers are lacking faith.
Maybe we won't be sued because they'll think we're a part of a different group.
Yeah.
Because Nick's saying it wrong.
But I will.
How do you say it?
I say realtor.
We'll bring it back to you in a second.
Okay.
I want to hear how.
I say
how
realtor.
Realtor?
Realtor.
Tur?
I don't know.
It's
I say it-
Realtor. T-O-R.
I don't
That's-
say it as
that's not
long
what
as
you
you do.
say.
That's a very
It's
long.
realtor.
You put an I in it, and we all know it. We have 206 episodes to prove it.
An I? Where's the
He
I?
says realtor.
There is
he
a
does.
little
He
extra.
says
I don't think I
realtor.
say
There's a little
realtor.
extra
Yeah, he
beat
does.
that you have.
Yeah,
Jesse,
realtor.
back me up.
Oh yeah,
Realtor.
100%. Realtor.
Jesse, what's the
Realtor.
what's
Realtor.
the you read music? What's the thing? The symbol for like a pause in between? That's what Nick has. It's like a little beat in between. Realtor. It sounds like realtor. So you're saying
Arrest.
It's a rest.
Yeah.
arrest.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I called it a pause.
That seemed obvious to you. I'm sorry. I don't read music.
Real estate agents if NAR goes away.
Oh Lord. So this
That's
here's the
true.
That's
deal.
not what I said. That's what
I-
Jared
this-
just said.
Well, does their trademark go away? Can we just reincorporate it?
Yeah.
So does that mean we can just go buy all the realtor domain names?
Maybe we could. Does the-
What if you spent all that money on .realtor?
Oh.
Maybe.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Could you sue for that?
Oh.
What if we just take away the word realtor? What happens then?
I've always just
I
said
think
real
there's-
estate agent.
Real
I've
estate.
that's-
never call myself
Gotta
a
be
realtor.
something even cooler
Yeah.
than realtor.
Yeah. I
Like,
think we
Or
come up with a
realtor.
new name.
My name is I help you make money.
Build Wealth
If
with
you
Beth.
want to make money, come see me.
Don't worry, Zillow will take care of it.
You know who my big
Realist.
clients are? Realtors. You want to know why? Because they're all coming off of some of the biggest years they've had in their careers. And now they're realizing in this down market or this, it's not a down market, it's just more challenging, y'all. But what they're realizing is if I had some passive income and if I had some leverage, then I too would not be worried that I lost a few deals in Q2, 3, 4, and I'm down in volume because you'd have the passive income that would supplement that for your life.
Sure.
And so realtors make up 60% of my clients now.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
How much passive income do you search for? Like in terms of like what would be your minimum number? I read this,
in a
like,
deal.
I was reading this land flipping book that I'm currently reading. We need to have them on, the Land Geeks. And they talked about in here, like the majority of people would just love to figure out how to passively bring in $10,000 a month, and that would change their world. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
But you
Yeah.
just said that so like in such a like a dick way. Like,
sure.
so-
Because I think that's small-minded thinking.
But this is what I'm saying.
Like
The
that's not.
average-
I'm not trying to be a dick on this.
This is
thing.
why realtors, you have to listen to
Well,
me
you don't
on
have to
this.
try
If
very
you
hard.
help your clients buy one income property, it really does change their life. And one can turn to two. And so when you say 10,000 a month passive, first of all, as you well know, Nick Good, it is as individual as every investor. You have to know what is your life expenditure, what are your expenses, and how can we take that burden away from you passively.
Sure,
So I don't have children, so it's much more fun to be me.
sure. But what's the number that you would want to search for?
It's an individual thing. I can never put a number on it.
Can I ask you guys a question? How much do you think
This
that
is a show about asking questions.
They're just like, no.
Absolutely.
How much do you think that is sort of playing mentally into a lot of realtors' minds right now? We're focusing on the wrong things. I think we're focusing on lawsuits and we're focusing on interest rates and all this type of stuff. I personally know a lot of realtors who had very grand lifestyles for the last few years that are struggling to make those adjustments, right?
They have to adjust their lifestyle back down.
Sure, and we don't want to, right?
Yeah.
And Kelderman said something amazing on the show, like recently. It was like, when funds are low, shit must go, right? We have an ego thing about it. It's very difficult, but man, these are the times when deals actually really present themselves. And I think we do such a fundamentally poor job of putting ourselves in the right position to capture those deals because we're not making the right adjustments to give ourselves the ability financially to go and take advantage of the market right now.
I also believe that we've got this as realtors.
Do you not realize you're doing it, or are you
No.
doing it on purpose?
No,
I think he does it on
doesn't realize.
purpose.
Okay.
This is how I've always said it. Realtors.
There's definitely an eye in there.
There's
Or-
no I.
Okay.
Real it.
Real
Yes.
tour.
Let me go to the docketer.
Real tour.
Go to the docketer.
But as realtors, we have this kind of, if it's a deal that anybody in the right mind would take, we've got this thing that kind of blocks us. It says, you know what? I need to go and sell. I need to go help this person sell it for the most amount of money. Right. And, I've run across this where it's like, you see people, especially in lab coats. Lab coats is really bad about this, where it's like, I can't believe, Beth, you would take advantage of that seller.
Beth, why would you do that?
Yeah. Why would you buy a house so cheap? Why would you offer that?
Yeah.
That seller, you definitely took advantage of them.
Yeah.
And then everyone else would chime in like, yeah, scum.
Was I negotiating on behalf of a
Scum.
buyer?
You are the buyer.
Yeah.
then I'm doing my due diligence for
Correct.
myself.
But
you took
again,
those
real estate
people's
agents
home.
have this kind of this kind of blockade in their mind about, running across, maybe a homeowner reaches out that says, hey, I need to sell this house ASAP. And, what they do, what does most real estate agents or realtors do? They go in and be like, well, if you go and change this, you go do this, we can sell it for market value.
Yeah.
And they're not really solving that problem because
But that's because they're a marginal agent, Nick. Because a marginal
You've heard
agent is going to
We-
start to sold.
the only real
and
estate
then-
podcast would never.
You're not supposed to say that
Yeah,
word
you can't
around
say
here.
marginal agent.
Why?
Wow.
But that's half of our industry.
Mm.
Sorry about it. That's the unpopular opinion.
Oof.
But an exceptional
stat?
agent,
Don't send us hate mail.
but an exceptional agent is going to educate you
Sure.
on the best steps for your life.
Brett Tanner, you've already mentioned him. Something I learned a long time from him is my job as an agent, a broker, when I go and run a listing appointment or talk to any seller, my number one goal is, can I buy it first?
Right.
I'm going down my checklist. Can I buy it? Maybe I can wholesale it. Can I flip this? Is this something that fits in my rental portfolio?
Yeah.
Last is brokering
Should I
it.
list it?
Okay.
That should always be in everyone's arsenal.
Yep.
What is wild to me, and this is real talk, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're my best friends and I love you. My mentality is the exact opposite. I go into that meeting thinking, how can I help this person in their life in the best way possible? And
Sure.
so you're correct. But first of all, wholesaling, I would never think of. You know that. But do they need a quick cash offer from an iBuyer or one of my circle? But for me, I guess just hearing the way you phrased it, because you're a realtor, knowing that you walked into that appointment and you're
I think
like,
we've
can I
said
buy
realtor
it? But,
more often on the show than any other
Yeah.
show.
but I know you and I know your moral code and compass faces due north. But I guess in my mind, and I believe in the public's mind, when a realtor comes in for that meeting and you are a seller in distress or hardship and you're thinking to yourself, can I buy it? Can I wholesale it? That to me sounds shady.
Sure, I understand how I understand how the perception comes off. But number one is when you're running down your checklist, right? You can walk into an appointment and know, are you going to be able to truly make someone an offer? You're going to know whether or not, whether that's the case or not. Now, you can offer that as a solution. Now, Beth, when I sit down with you, one of the things that we go over is we can make an instant offer. If speed and convenience is your number one priority, we can talk about that. That's something that I offer in my toolkit or my real estate pocket, if we keep with this show title. But in the toolkit, I can say, number one, if speed and convenience is something that matters most to you right now, I can give you an instant offer of what I would buy for, what I would offer you and buy it for. Now, I'll let you know that it's not going to be market value. And I would highly recommend that if netting the most amount of money is super important to you, then we need to talk about the options of putting it on the market and presenting the best product out there. That maybe you need to do some updates, right? Maybe you need to fix some of the deferred maintenance, and we can talk about what that looks like. And then we'll broker it out. We do charge a commission for that. So it sounds shady because there are definitely shady people in this industry that would take advantage of someone rather than going through the checklist and educating them. And then in that offer and be like, you do understand, Beth, that I could put this on the market and sell it for more. I am making this offer with the intention of profiting from it. My goal is to make a profit. To me, if you're going with all those full disclosures and they know it all up front, then your moral compass is it's still pointing north.
I think it's even simpler than that. I would just say if I'm not liquid enough as a homeowner to bring my property up to market value because I have deferred maintenance, it actually benefits me to sell it for below market value because convenience and timing are more important than the financial aspect.
I love you. I needed to hear that.
Well, he was saying
But-
it. He just said it
But
longer.
I needed to hear that.
but
Nope. What you said creates perception. They're two totally different things. And
Sure.
I hope people out there are like, oh no, Beth, I get what you're thinking. Because if someone's selling with speed, it's because they're in financial
Yeah.
hardship. They're behind on mortgage.
Sure.
And so
Not
then it's,
necessarily.
but or-
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or they're just like, I'll tell you. So I am actually friends And I'll tell you, a lot of flippers are friends with people who I've bought their houses on Facebook. I've made like, because I've formed relationships with them. Like I've like remained close with some people who I've bought their home for under market value because I did them I provided a service. They needed to exit quickly for whatever reason. Their home was not in market condition, so I could not give them market value, but I closed quickly. I made a profit. I helped them out of a particular situation. And like, there's no animosity there. Like that, I'm providing a service the same way that you would be brokering any deal. You know, it's just the circumstances are everything.
Just the way he phrased it. And I know you guys are literally saying the exact same
Sure.
thing, literally. But I believe that, especially when it comes to the public and their view of realtors, these are the things we have to start thinking about in our conversations with potential clients.
Sure. I will say that I've never had any house that I bought. I bought one, now it would probably be a year and a half ago. And we begged this lady not to take this offer. I begged her not to take the offer I gave her. I said, we can put it on the market.
Yeah.
And we could sell it for a lot more. She would not take, she would
Because
not
she
list
didn't want
it.
it shown, or
She didn't, it was something about, she didn't want people coming through her house. And she understood it. I mean, we had it in email, we had it in text, we had it in the contract, and she still took this offer.
Yeah, and it's frustrating as an agent because we know we can make more for her.
Yeah.
And
so,
us. Yeah.
so number one is the last thing that we only have one reputation. And so just like Aaron said, the problem is most agents wouldn't say it the way that any of us put it, right? They hide behind something, and that is something that is probably also one of the reasons why there's this lawsuit going on, because they're the marginal agents that Beth likes to call them.
Only Beth.
Only Beth Silverman.
We're kidding.
No,
I stand by it.
no, I think we've called them. I think even NAR published a report.
Marginal?
About
I think
Exceptional.
we titled one of
We
the
titled-
episodes
Yeah.
that.
And it
Say
was
we titled
after
one.
the
Yes.
NAR article,
Yes.
by the way.
Yes.
So
No,
NAR,
100%. We're
Correct.
just joshing you. But I will say that as long as you're disclosing and you're over disclosing and basically saying you understand, like, we could get more money. I have bought many houses that way because they do not want to go on the market. And so I'm like, okay, if that is the case, then I'm taking my broker hat off. I'm putting my investor hat on, and you understand that the money that I'm offering has to have a return.
Yeah.
Right. I'm doing this with the intention of making a profit. I might wholesale it. I might flip it. I might keep it as a rental. I haven't decided yet, but I have 3 options here that I'm going to do. And I walk them through those options.
I know exactly what you were getting at. It's just like the words, like the verbiage that Brian put it in just sounded great. So, but again, Nick, we're surrounded in this world of being in lawsuits right now. And so I believe that realtors really need a strong command of how to explain things to their sellers, to their buyers, to their prospects. I think more than ever, that's the training that everyone needs. So I'll ask you guys both a question. What do you think, because we're really about to be in 2024, going into Q1, what do you think is the most important thing for agents to get back to?
Oh, you want to go first, or you want me to?
2024, thinking about our cycle, interest rates, where they are. So what do you think? So you guys know where we believe the market's going.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is the most important tactic
I would
to have in your pocket?
To exactly what you just said, interest rates, the market, all that type of stuff. Stop thinking about that shit. Pick up the fucking phone.
Yep.
I'm so sorry. Like, I wish that it was different. Guys, how many agents do you think were really maximizing their potential for the last 3 years?
0.
Okay. So are we talking about anything important here?
No.
Pick up the fucking phone.
And when you're doing that,
I hate the idea of it's this, lawsuit's fault, or it's this, bro, every single individual agent out there in 2021 had the ability to sell 75 houses as an individual. If you weren't, 2 things are true. Either that's not the lifestyle that you wanted, and I totally understand that, right? Or you didn't put in the work to do that. And that's, by the way, fine if you didn't. I'm not saying that you needed to. We all have the lives we want to live, and not everybody wants to work that much and put that work in. But I'm just saying, if you weren't maximizing your potential in the most favorable market out there,
don't say that it's everything else's fault that you're not succeeding now. Get to 100% effort. Then we can start, we can start to talk about a different strategy. But I don't think any of this stuff is what's holding anybody back. I just don't.
From a lead generation perspective, I'm going to go find the motivated clientele, right? So picking up the phone sounds great, and we always say that. But then the next question is like, who am I calling?
Yes.
And I was like, great, you call your sphere. More than likely, your sphere's not doing anything because, the chances are you probably have put out a perception how bad the market is.
Stop doing that.
Yes.
And also get a bigger sphere.
Yeah. Just keep, it's kind of like with Deep Blue Capital,
Yes.
right? So
deepbluere.com.
Yeah, deepbluere.com / build wealth.
Real wealth.
Real wealth.
There
We
we
got build wealth with Beth. We should have just called it build wealth.
No, nobody knows where to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, you're talking about, don't get off this because this is really important. What you're saying. Did you lose your whole train?
No, the train's still here. Right. Where was I? I did lose that train.
You were talking about who
Call your
you call.
sphere, more bigger sphere.
So all right,
You're
yeah.
not
Yep,
acting.
you've got me back. So so with that, at Deep Blue, we have to build the wealth side of things. We have a commitment to, analyze a certain amount of deals, to make a certain amount of LOIs,
Yep.
to meet a certain number of accredited investors, right? There's KPI metrics on that.
Yep.
And where I see most people, if they're only going to handle their sphere, is that they're not growing that database. They don't have a metric to grow. So like I was talking to an agent yesterday, she was referred to me, and, walking it through, and she's a former educator. And I was like, I was talking about, she was on another team, not having success.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, the leads weren't great. I said, okay, let's walk through that, which I understand the how perception of lead flow is. I was like, number one, let's work your database. And that response was, I don't really have one.
Yeah.
It's like we all do, right? She's not from here. But I was like, we always need to have a metric to add more people. Our database doesn't have to be our best friends. They just have to be someone that you can get a contact information and start building rapport
Yeah.
and start having conversations.
And you know what? Here's the thing. We're having this conversation, but this show, I hope this conversation is not new to you, because if it is, you need to level up who you're surrounding yourself with. Like, this is what I
Or
love.
go listen to 206 episodes.
206 starts today, right? What I love about what we're doing at Deep Blue, every Wednesday I have to be accountable to you and Matt Pachowski. And I hate the idea of saying that I didn't do what I was supposed to do, just because you guys are higher level thinkers. And there's an accountability amongst this group that I wouldn't say it makes you feel bad, but it holds you accountable to doing exactly what you already know you should be doing.
Well, let's do something right now.
Okay.
So if you're listening to this,
Let's call some passive investors.
Yeah, if you're listening to this and you have connections to family offices,
Oh, yeah.
right? Make the introduction. We'll pay a referral fee.
Hell yeah.
We can legally do that in the investment world.
Yeah.
If a family office were to invest, and we'll figure out a nice little referral fee to do so. If you know any family offices, just make the connection. We're looking to add that to our investor list. And so that was something we talked about on our Wednesday call today.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to stay true and honor what we said we were set out to do, just like you should be in your real estate business, going and finding 5 new people a week.
Or having new conversations with your people. I'm going to talk
Yeah,
about this a
that's true
lot
as well.
on Friday. I get to speak at a regional rally at Frisco Hall.
Yeah.
For my
Plug it
broker.
real fast.
We were setting you up for this.
No, but like
let's go now.
I'm excited that I'm getting to speak about this because like last year, I didn't have 2,500 leads in a database. I didn't have 250 people in a sphere. Of course, I do have all of that. But last year, it was just 14 investors that transacted 41 times for over $500,000 in GCI.
So think about that.
Yes.
But all right. Wait. Break that down because it's KPI numbers, right?
Right.
So understanding that you have a database, right? You have only 14 investors. That's not a lot.
And I have and the list is bigger than that. So my core list is 49.
That's what he said.
And my core list is 49, but they're all
Jesse.
not going to transact every single year, right? Depending on the types of products they're buying and what their financial means are, how much liquidity they have. But what I want to say is you have to change the nature of the ask. Like they're like, oh, add 5 new people. No, add 5 opportunities for your existing people to say yes to.
Sure.
That's the difference. This is why I have managed to rise and continue to be successful in these challenging markets. It's because I just go to the exact same people every single time with a new opportunity.
I would say either way, you just fucking do it.
Sounds like a
Right?
multi-level marketing
Whether it's
scam.
new conversations
I
or
will
new
punch
contacts, right? Like the idea of like, we've got to get back to holding ourselves accountable and just doing it.
I wake up every single day and
I
I
mean-
know exactly what I have to do to stay on
Wake
top.
up and piss excellence.
Because I'm certainly not going to, what did you say earlier? Like lower, what did you say that Kelderman said? If you can't afford it,
When funds
something.
are low, shit must go.
that it's not happening.
Are you
Like,
not doing that?
You don't, what would I give up my cleaning lady or my
No,
hair
hey,
budget?
look, this
Nope.
is
Now,
No,
now,
I'm gonna
wait,
get
wait,
up
wait.
and I'm
Who
going to
does?
sell more
Who
real estate.
sounds like?
I'm going to sell more real estate. If I can't afford the lifestyle that I'm accustomed to, I'm not working hard enough.
I agree. Look, that's why I believe in passive income. That's why I believe that, Kelderman also, we'll keep giving Kelderman love. Kelderman also has this thought process of just make $30,000 a month. And it sounds, when I first heard it,
Gross income or passive?
either.
Well,
Oh, passive.
I want anybody wants passive, yes.
What if
But
you're doing stuff you really like?
yeah,
if all your income
how-
is passive,
so-
Beth, you'd be bored as hell.
here's what I'll tell you.
Whoa, Lois. Number one, when you're like, how long can that last? If you have passive income, what I want people to understand is like, hi, I got cancer at 26. Bad things happen in life, right?
Yeah.
And if you have passive income,
That's
you can
fair.
get through life's challenges with more grace, ease, and less worry. So that's why I want people to understand this. I want every regular realtor, whether you're marginal or exceptional out there, to look at your past clients. You don't need to add more. You need to just add value and an opportunity they can say yes to. How would it change your life and theirs if they had passive income, even from one property, from 2? How would it change? But that's the question you ask them. What would it do for your life if I could show you this?
We should do a Build Wealth with Beth seminar.
I like it.
Done.
And we can show them how real estate agents or realtors,
Can we talk about how Build
America,
Wealth- Can we talk? Build Wealth with Beth is about to blow up.
Blow up.
Yeah.
I'm so nervous.
and that we help grow it.
We help grow it.
You
Okay.
heard it here first.
I was about to ask Beth before the show to ask you about like your thoughts, on like building online coaching programs and courses and all the things that could give value and help people.
what I
And,
thought about it before. I think that the way
I'm
that
just
Tour,
busting your
I think the way
chops.
that Tour Academy was doing it was not the right move because we
Thanks.
weren't. No, that was us. That was us dipping our toe in, and we appreciate everyone who signed up for that life membership, and we truly appreciate that.
nobody who dips a toe in gets relief from the heat, right? Like you need to get all the way in, put your
Today's
shoulders
It's
under.
all great
right?
analogies today. I
But
love it.
I thought I would never have an online course. I actually can't stand people who call themselves gurus, coaches. Who
People
teach
call
stuff,
themselves that?
and like
Oh,
an
yeah.
online. I swore I would never do this ever, and the only reason I'm doing this is because, like, number one, I'm about to be the first in this space, which is crazy.
Hmm.
Like that is exciting and anxiety ridden all at once.
Yep.
But I believe that I can teach realtors something in their pocket, a tool for their tool belt that they can pull out through 2024, regardless of interest rates, regardless of leads, regardless of your database. I can show you how to take this opportunity to everyone you know, maybe just yourself and your family.
We
and
should have
build
titled
wealth.
this "Forget About Your Database." We've gotten way more.
my
views
database is bigger.
than
Mine's
yours.
huge. And you know what? I have failed to touch on them, to love on them, right? I said it to you guys at lunch. I don't send cards and pies. Like I'm not that girl, but I certainly text people randomly and I'm like, yo, you know how much equity you have? I'm like, I was driving down your street the other day to show a buyer and you're literally, you have like 200,000 or 300,000 in equity. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, you want to do something with it? And they're like what? And I'm like, I'll show you how to buy a house that'll pay for itself. And they're like, I can't afford it. I'm like, you don't have to afford it. We're going to use this thing called a DSCR loan. The house is going to afford itself. The income the house is going to make is going to get you that loan. And they say, what else? I'm like, tax benefits. What else?
We need to figure out.
Equity.
Look,
What else?
Here's what I think we need to
Leverage.
do.
Come on, man. You have
Build
to have
wealth-
the opportunity to say
Build
yes
Wealth
to.
with Beth webinar that hosted by Tor.
Okay.
Right. We're going to take some credit for this.
All right.
tourstudios.com//. I'm sorry.
Build Wealth
I
with
always
Beth.
get that
Nobody
wrong.
knows the direction of the flash.
That's what I
flash.
say.
Nobody
Yeah.
cares.
Nick
Like,
always corrects me.
No, that's because Theron with Armadillo always corrects it. It is.
Isn't it
is-
the
That
same,
is-
like,
that is
button?
true.
No,
No,
it's not.
no,
There's
it's
two
not.
different ones.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a / and a /.
everybody only knows one slash.
I think
Yes.
that's the wrong one though, because that's the one I know.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Keep
Yeah.
going.
But we do this webinar. From there, we get people to understand what the Padsplit certification is all about.
Ooh.
They sign up for Padsplit certification, right? Through Build Wealth with Beth. From there, with Tor, we also will show them how to build out an investment webinar series.
Ooh.
Because what needs to be done and what you really, if there's anything that you can take away, well, number one, I say realtor correctly. Number two
No.
is
You
that,
didn't even do it right there.
I did. First off, I did do it correctly, and you're not going to tell me any different, sir. But number two is that your database, you nailed it on the head. No, you should always be building and adding new people to it, but offering new value to it, which is, hey, you're in my sphere. You know, like, trust, and love me. Can I help you grow your wealth? Can I help you grow your retirement? Right? Can I help you? How much passive income are you needing? What is your retirement plans? I'm not selling you life insurance, not
Right.
yet, but that's coming. And what I want to do here is I want to show you a strategy of how we can tap your equity. If you've got, if you're an accredited investor, if you're this, and this, we can help you with growing that wealth, helping you with tax saving strategies, and start really hammering that investment webinar. And then they show the Padsplit model. They show other, maybe if that's not for certain people, great. Then you show them,
Let's talk
maybe
about house hacking.
Yeah,
and the new
house
Fannie
hacking,
Mae product.
STRs,
Notes.
right? Note School.
Note School.
There's so much.
Signing up.
Yeah, there's so much that you can do with this
That's the
right
biggest
now.
holdback for people. You said something years ago. I don't even think you remember this. This was at like a mastermind at our office about investing, and you said, like, if the deals are good enough, the money will show up.
Yes.
Yes.
And like that's
But
stuck
everyone
with
says
me
that.
forever.
No,
Everyone
I said
says
that. I
that.
said
But if you find the
But he
deal,
was the
you can
first.
find
Yeah.
the money.
Right.
Yes,
If you find the deal,
Yeah.
you will find the money.
I actually
correct.
think that like that's tough to resonate for people. Like when you talk about like DSCR loans and things like that. Like I had lunch with a capital advisor today. Like you have no idea how badly capital is trying to throw itself at you if you have the right deal. And I didn't make that connection for the longest time.
Let me from the lending perspective, and this is somewhere we should bring Mortgage Mike on briefly for this. How many lenders truly have mastered how to explain DSCR loans to the agents and public?
Why are you not getting more emails from lenders about exactly what Beth's
And
talking about
Because
right
you
now?
were the one
That's
who really educated
so
me
true,
on the
dude.
2-1 buy down. Like
Yes.
I needed you and Mike to back her because no one was explaining it to me.
Correct.
So you were the one who taught me.
Sure.
And so that's A. B, with DSCR, what's really interesting is understanding the rent schedule and then what happens when it comes in under the 1, when it comes in at 0.75. And what I've learned is to mitigate that risk and explain to my clients on the front end, this isn't going to be 20% down. I don't care if a lender
So if
told
I'm
you
a
that.
lender right now, I'm doing a webinar
Correct.
attracting
true.
agents.
Yes.
So that then I can be that lender that we can go run an investment webinar
Yeah.
series
Yes,
together.
because what's
and
the
talk
fear
about
in
this.
DSCR?
You know
We're
what I would
not
be doing to grow
qualifying
my
for
mortgage
loans.
business right
Yep.
now? Doing webinars with realtors
Yes.
Yes.
to help educate their clients and being the one that brings value to them. Like, what are we
Because
talking
of the
about
equity.
here?
We have
That's
to think of the market.
so
You said it
key.
yourself. You said people
Yeah.
aren't going to move up. People are hanging on to those interest rates, but they're sitting on equity.
Yeah.
So let's tap into them and show them the possibility.
That's
It's
so
about
true.
generating an opportunity they can say yes to.
I have had 0 emails in my inbox about anything remotely close to that.
And this is all I
Mortgage
talk
Mike.
about every day is about
And every other
DSCRs
lender.
and how we can then grow a portfolio. And I'm showing you how to take the money out of this house and get a loan based on the house's cash flow, a DSCR, debt service credit ratio. It just means that if the cash flow from the house covers the debt service, you get the loan.
Let me ask you
Isn't that
this.
great?
Realtors talking to you,
I can't.
right? Talking to you.
Looking at me in my eyeballs.
Yeah, I'm talking to you right now. If tour studios offered tour webinars, done for you webinars,
Torbinars.
yes, and all you had to do was get your lender and get your database. We'll handle the emails and everything set up. Would that be something that
Can you define done for you? Like, what does that mean? Like the
Sit in
slides
the
are
seat
done?
that
Or
you're sitting in right now.
the slides, we could figure out how to do the slides. We could probably do the slides. Yes.
are you teaching the realtor like what? Because I'm just asking because I'm
Sure,
a realtor.
sure.
Like, what's
That's a good
done for
question.
you?
That's a great question. Depends on the package you want to buy, Beth. So absolutely. We could do a whole,
You're talking about the platinum package?
yes, the
Where we
platinum
actually
package is
teach you?
where Brian and I will host the webinar
Exactly.
and we will bring you on as a guest.
Do I have access to push it out into your database of
No.
realtor? Okay.
No.
So
No,
I'm just,
this is
I'm
for
just
your,
asking,
this is for
like,
your client
for your
database,
database.
right? You
Oh,
bring-
she's saying as a mortgage lender.
as a mortgage.
Oh,
lender?
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
because there's a lot of value in
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
Mhm.
That affiliate fee.
Tour webinar.
We'll even pull a bunch of broker metrics lists for you.
Yeah.
Just to blast that out and pretend like you know us there.
I
I
think
just-
I think there's an opportunity there because the webinar game, I will say that there, with the way calling and texting and everything's going at the moment, we've got to figure out again how to continue to add value.
What is in our real estate pocket for Q1 2024? What if webinars is the thing?
Tour webinars.
But what if it is like
Quarter one, quarter two. Let's fucking do it.
I think it's webinar 2024. That's it.
Yeah.
like what if that's the thing that
What if
sets people's
we did a
business
webinar
apart?
every day, 365 webinars.
Give me a challenge.
I'm
That's
with it.
hard, but
I can do that.
that's really
Yeah.
hard.
Well, this studio is 4 seconds from where, or 4 feet from where I work. So
Are you making the webinars evergreen?
Always.
Because
that's
that's
all
wild.
he talks about.
But because then they live on and
Forever.
they work for you when you're sleeping.
I like this. Tour Studios webinar every day.
Done. Let's do it.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Of course.
Shift gears for a second. We haven't talked
Aaron
about loss.
Foster, you're negative Nancy over here. Saying show up rates are getting harder and harder. You know what, Aaron?
Show up.
So, Aaron, I'm going to say this. I'm getting deals to pencil for my clients at 8.5%. Like, I am hustling to get deals to pencil at these crazy rates. And I live in Florida where insurance is absolutely insane and we're making it work. But what it comes down to is about the opportunity, generating an opportunity for people to say yes.
Guaranteed
to.
returns.
Yeah.
That's
all of that
I
is
put a disclaimer on all that, sir.
all that's true.
Shifting gears.
You know what?
Brian.
I like that Aaron
I think
Foster's
that Aaron,
back
I
listening.
think that Aaron was. He is. I mean, it's good to
He's
see
at least
that.
commenting.
Yeah, thank you.
I
Aaron.
think Aaron was referring to attendance
Oh, the
rates
webinar.
for
Yes.
webinars.
Oh, I
That's
love
correct.
that. Sorry, Aaron. Love you.
Regardless, attendance rates are
Irregardless.
simply
Are.
one function of a lot of variables. So you
Sure.
got to think about the other variables, Aaron, like your message.
I just shifted gears, Brian. What
I-
was your next
I
question?
haven't talked about lawsuits in a while. I was going to ask you a hypothetical question. In a completely free and untethered market that had no prior ideology around the financial aspect, how would you prefer to be compensated for your services?
I have to kick that to you because
I was
No, I was asking you. You
How
get
would I
to
prefer
you
to
get
be
to
comp-
answer
so-
that one, or what do you
Okay,
think
no,
is
wait,
the
I'll
biggest
tell
animal
you.
you could beat up?
I will tell you that I believe that for me, because I'm willing to bet so much money on myself and my skill set, I would take equity ownership versus cash at the deal.
Yep.
Because I know better, right? And so it's wild that I'm not taking that at this point with how much I give. And I've been offered that deal by some big I just make the peace sign if you know who I'm referring to. Some big real estate people. I've been offered equity in all the deals that I help their people come to for this particular thing that I'm doing with Padsplit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I believe that I would take equity or equity ownership. That's what I would want.
What I'm hearing is that regardless of whether it's equity or whatever, you would prefer a scenario in which you were compensated in accordance with the value that you brought.
Correct. Which it is wild because I know that and you've been telling me this for years and I appreciate you so much, buddy. But I really have undervalued my services tremendously. And I know that I can go to any of my investors and be like, you're paying XYZ. But what's so wild is like in my mind, I'm like, man, these interest rates, like the deals are so hard to make pencil. And so what I know to be true is my guys are so true to me and they transact with me over and over and over.
Yeah.
What's the lifetime value of a client or a customer, right? So again, you had 14 investors last year that helped you earn $500,000 in commissions.
And it's so easy when you work with the same dudes because then your whole team, your transaction team, your inspectors, everyone knows them. So you just call them by name to your whole team and everyone wants to service them at such a high level. So it makes your life, you're not going through the same things with lenders. Like it's just this client.
But you're also not building it off of right now. It doesn't seem like it off of a fad, right? Where if you look at it this way, I know how many REO agents, foreclosure agents did we know that was just making cash hand over fist.
Yeah.
And then as the foreclosure market dried up, then they did not know how to evolve.
Yeah.
Right, or adapt. I know a lot of those agents are no longer in the business. Then you've got the STR, the short-term rental agents who, as interest rates started to go up, value started increasing, money started drying up.
Supply saturation.
Yeah.
It's freaking huge.
No one talked about that, right? They still,
I've been talking about
what you call
Airbnb bust.
Airbnb bust.
I kept saying is Airbnb over, but I started as an REO agent. Did you know that?
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
So for me, it was just this natural pivot because I had the relationship with builders and flippers. And then I was like, okay, let's make more money. So we went to multifamily. But then the economy was still a little rough. And that's when I learned Section 8. I'm so happy I took the time to understand voucher housing. And if you are educated about it, how effective it can be as a landlord. You can listen. I shouldn't even be looking at him because I know you've been through some shit. And
look, I will say that being a Section 8 landlord, some of the cities don't set you up for success.
Correct.
Right. And I believe that it's not against the Section 8 tenants. Right. This is a situation that unfortunately the city has created obstacles that doesn't make it a win for the landlords. And so, and what ends up happening is you see a lot of Section 8 landlords that do this. They get a bad rep of being slumlords. And I believe that there should be a change to that to really help with lower income renters. And I believe that's where Padsplit is going because Padsplit helps to serve that working the working poverty class, right? There's a lot of people that are couch surfing. There's a lot of people that are living in their car, and Padsplit is a option for them that gives them some affordable options, a roof over their head, water, utilities, internet.
Rent. Yeah. P.S. I will say this: if you are in Dallas, Frisco, McKinney, Plano, you guys live here, we are doing a Padsplit event tonight at Sidecar Social in the Star in Frisco from 6 to 9. So if you want to learn about the platform, if you're a realtor, an investor, a vendor, or you just want to hang out with us, that is where we will be tonight at Sidecar Social. Just want to drop that real quick.
Yeah. I mean, so you just look at all of it in general, I don't know, like that Section 8, you definitely evolved,
but I've evolved.
Right?
And so then I went to STR.
Yes.
Like I moved to Florida. I knew one person, one neighborhood. Why do you think I sold STRs? I lived on the Gulf of Mexico, the best beach.
Yes.
And so then,
but you're not. How many STRs have you sold in 2023?
I've listed them, which I love. Padsplit asks me all the time, like, "Hey, what's your Padsplit to Airbnb ratio?" And like, I'm unit for unit this year, but I said to Padsplit, I
listing all those.
I said, by the way, they're listings. And so the only ones we've acquired this year are like these shoe-ins where I'm also dealing with professional operators. You're not getting into an STR right now. And if you are, you're missing the boat, wrong investment. And in 5 years, if I'm still sitting here talking about Padsplit, like I'm doing it wrong. We'll be back in foreclosures.
That's a good.
Possibly.
And P.S. as realtors, I know we have to wrap, but as realtors, please stop putting out the memes, you guys, that say, as soon as rates drop a little bit, we're going to go back to 2021. Everyone's going to be competing. Like, I hate these stupid scare tactics. Like, you don't sound smart. You don't sound educated. You're repeating what other people are posting.
Do you think there's that much liquidity in the marketplace?
I believe 2024 rates are going to be stable. It's in the 7s, maybe 6.996.
Even if they did, though, even if we went back to 3.5% rates right now, do you think there's that much liquidity in the marketplace right now?
If we went back to if it dropped that quickly, are you saying?
It wouldn't.
If it did, it would definitely cause a hyper rush.
But can we go to the reality that if we drop to anything, it'd be 6.5 at the low.
Sure.
Like,
I believe that we're going to be in the mid to lower 6s through next year. And then in the 5s in 2025. And I think 24 is actually going to be a better in terms of what we were predicting. I think it's going to actually be better than what we've been projecting and thinking it was going to go to. As long as inflation as long as the CPI reports still stay in our favor, inflation stays in check.
And the election.
In this election year. So there,
it is a big factor. But this is, again, guys, this is why I just take it back to this whole thing. Like the interest rates, elections, wars, all these things that could affect our business, lawsuits. Just find an opportunity that people can say yes to. They exist in every corner of our market.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't really worry about rates as far as like my predictions. I don't predict rates. I don't think that's
it's like a non-issue.
like a meritable
but
argument,
we do look at rates from a deep blue side, right?
We definitely look at them
that one affects
for sure.
from a multifamily investment and how we pencil the numbers in.
Yes.
That one really affects versus a home buyer that you can go in and negotiate where the average seller is coming off 6-7% right now, and you could go buy the interest rate down. You can't do that in the multifamily side.
On the deep blue side, our job is to predict what's the worst possible case for rates,
mitigate risk
what
and return.
we do on the real estate side, which I think is non-meritable sometimes, or unmeritable, is like, I think next year rates will be like, I have no idea. I'm just asking, like my question before was like, do you think the American home buying public is liquid enough to make another gold rush if rates do come down? And I think there's varying viewpoints about that.
I think they'll find a way.
Californians, New York. I do believe.
Yeah.
I think the takeaway message is do what you should have been doing for the last 5 years, no matter the market. Make your calls, tap your database, create opportunities for people to say yes to, and webinars. Get with your lender.
Tour webinars.
Is there a backslash?
No, not right now. There will be. Go to Tour. Just go to. Yeah, it is definitely /. You can't say backslash.
And also,
realtors. That's the realtor in me.
And a video, right? Like if you can't find the client, if you have an opportunity, just push it out on video, and people will come. And people have the money.
Yeah. No. I mean, go to Tour Studios, TORE studios.com. Just sign up. Get with Jesse. If you're interested, look, we're going to pitch this out here. If you're interested in done for you webinars, we'll talk about it. Brian and I can figure out what that looks like. And maybe we want a JV on maybe we want some.
I want a JV with you guys so bad on something. It's like, I just dream about it.
Let's look at
Beth, how much capital do you think you raise?
We'll talk about this offline.
Deal.
She thinks $5 million.
No, I think it's actually so hard. And I called Nick probably crying, like during a syndication raise. And I was like, I can't do this.
That wasn't,
so hard.
But that wasn't the right deal.
Yeah.
And because I was building the whole Build Wealth with Beth, and I wanted message to market match. I wanted to make sure my clients knew this was where we were going.
And look, raising capital is very intimate, right? Like in the capital raising, I think people get really cold and they just like, how much money can I extract from that person out of their pocket? Where Deep Blue, we look at it different. Like this is a very intimate process. Like if you're going to trust and invest with us, that we want to make sure that we're going to put those dollars to work and that we're putting our money on the line.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so we're not just any type of Deep Blue is not just any type of syndication capital raising company.
We always invest in our own deals.
Yeah.
So how do I find more about Deep Blue?
deepbluere.com.
Yeah, reminds us the opposite. It's not how can we extract money. It's how can we bring you a deal that's good enough.
Sure.
Right.
But there's a lot of capital raisers out there that all they care about is like, ooh, what's in your pocket?
How can I tell a story good enough for you to invest
the
in?
snake oil salesman.
So by the way, if the deal's good enough, the story will tell itself.
I love this, you guys. This
right?
Like,
deepbluere.com.
57% higher on our NOI projections on our current project then we
Would
should
you?
be
Let me
in
ask
the
you. We're just kind of just bullshitting right now.
Mhm.
Beth, would you listen to a podcast? It's called the More Doors podcast.
Yes.
Right?
one.
And
More
every
realtors podcast.
and every month there was one of the shows. So 3 out of the 4, one out of 4 shows was a breakdown of the operating, basically the monthly net report, income report of that syndication company or that investment company.
All the nuts and bolts.
It's wild because it's like true transparency. And so then the trust factor goes up like, wow, because you're like, they're literally showing everything. And so you know what you're signing up for. You're signing up for partners to be fully transparent when times are good and when times are bad. I say this to regular realtors all the time. If you have a listing and it's not moving and your seller calls, answer the phone. You know how many listing agents, like they get scared to talk to their own clients
This is
and
ridiculous.
they don't.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Answer the phone every time. Yeah. So I would love to partner with guys like you. First of all, because you guys both know I think you're brilliant, but I would love to partner with people who are so transparent and so authentic in their dealings and knowing we're growing this together.
Yep.
Yeah.
What
Webinars.
P&L podcast.
Webinars and
see?
podcasts. Guys, that's the move for 24. Let's do it. Just webinars and podcasts.
Fuck yeah.
That's the move.
Yep.
That's what we figured out. That's what's in our pocket, y'all.
But not Brian's. He's got notes.
I'm going to put a note in both your pockets.
I'll have some different ones next week, probably.
I think we should do a note sharing by Brian.
Is that different than the billionaire idea?
Yeah, because Billion Idea that one goes off the rails.
I feel like we're growing up a little bit.
We are
Yeah.
growing up.
Yeah, you've got water in that cup now.
I know.
I know.
I don't understand. It does not compute.
My Whole Foods grapefruit sparkling water.
Yes. I
Love
like
'em.
it.
I'll drink like 11 of these a day.
I'm excited to be in this studio with Jesse.
Yeah.
tomorrow. I'm filming
Tourstudios.com.
with Jesse all week.
Yeah, with Jesse.
Yep.
Tourstudios.com. Mortgage Mike, mmgloans.com.
And Dana Wynn, if you're out there, I hope I see you tonight.
Dana Wynn, homeward at dfw.com. And then, of course, the
Darren.
Ron.
You know, I got a shirt. Did I ever tell you all that after the
No.
last So after the
did
last
get a shirt.
podcast, I left the studio
What?
and I texted him and I was like, I really want a shirt. He drove it to my
He
hotel.
drove to Florida
Stop it.
in the
He
bus.
drove it to my hotel. And yeah, so I love it that the one pager is on the back.
You know what's
That's
crazy is he
awesome.
drove that to your hotel. And
I
he
still don't
knows
have a
where this
shirt.
studio is.
Yeah, I
and
don't
we've
have a
he's
shirt.
never
Been on this
had-
show.
Do you guys not have those shirts?
We do
No.
not have a shirt.
Shirts.
We've
He's
asked
literally
multiple
sat
times.
in this seat.
Yeah.
I think we need to
We've asked
find a new
multiple
home
times.
warranty company.
Unbelievable.
New home warranty company.
Unreal.
I would love to see
Homeward
Tobacco.
home warranty.
Exactly.
I haven't seen Tobacco out in a minute.
Nobody
Is
has.
he
It's okay.
around?
I don't know if he's still around.
Well, he's just giving out all those loans.
Yeah.
Mortgage Mike, mmgloans.com.
I'm gonna tell you right now, the reason you haven't seen Tobacco is because Texas is on the cusp of potentially a college football playoff.
Nah.
He won't even return my text messages. Also, Jesse,
I want to get his thoughts on
he
DSCR.
got
Mhm.
chopped this week, so he's not talking to me.
Oh, guillotine
Tobacco
league?
did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
I was chopped a couple weeks ago.
I was second to last. So me and him were coming down to the
Mhm.
wire, and he got chopped, so he's not happy.
We can ignore the spam likely calls, though, right? I don't know what that's going to be about, Jared.
I think our numbers are all verified.
I've always
Yeah.
ignored those.
All right.
Thanks for having
Build
me,
wealth
guys.
with Beth.
All right,
Yep.
Thank you.
seriously.
Launching
Yeah.
very soon.
Yep.
Padsplit Mastery for Realtors
Love it.
will
Exciting.
be
Great show.
coming out soon.
Hate the
Love you,
title.
boys.
Great show. See you next week. Hey, thank you for watching. We truly appreciate it. Checking out another episode of the only real estate podcast worth listening to. If you're watching this on YouTube, please go ahead, hit that share button, hit that like button, and hit the subscribe button. Right? We're dropping more stuff on YouTube constantly. If you're on iTunes, leave us a review, please. We're really, really focused on building up those reviews so we can get more searchable content on there. And if you're on Facebook, like everyone else is, go over and search the only real estate group worth being a part of. You're going to want to go join that group. I'm telling you right now, there's so much gold in there. So go join, share us on YouTube, and leave us that iTunes review, please. Go do it right now. We'll see you on the next show.